try and stop it when you get.
There we go. Okay, got it.
Why?
There were 4 tonight. You in town next week at all? Couple board members.
Yeah, if you want to do, yeah, and we'll do it. I didn't know when you wanted to do it, I'll just kind of follow you. Yeah, make it easier.
Okay, are we all ready? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Heights Board of Education regular meeting on March 27th, 2024 at 7 p.m. This evening, the treasurer is on vacation. Our treasurer pro tem, treasurer for the day, is Mr. Dobbins. So, Mr. Dobbins, will you please call the roll?
Certainly, thank you. So, Mr. Tsuchaki here.
Here.
Ms. Eder here?
Here.
Ms. Eder, Ms. Decker,
Here?
and Ms. Prouse.
Here.
5 present, none absent.
Okay. On behalf of the board, I would like to welcome all students, staff, and interested community members to tonight's Board of Education meeting. The board values and encourages public comment on education issues. Anyone having an interest in the actions of the board may participate during the public comments portion of the meeting, and if you do so, please identify yourself on the board sign-in sheet. A copy of the board minutes meeting agenda is available for review on our school district's website, and remind you to please silence your cell phones during the meeting. At this point, I would like everyone to stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this evening as presented.
So moved?
Okay, one motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Is there any comments? I have one. I'd like to add to our executive session, which is number 17, I'd like to add ORC Section 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. So I would like to add that to the agenda. Are there any other items for the agenda? Hearing none, will the treasurer please call the roll on the amended agenda?
Certainly. Ms. Decker,
Aye.
Ms. Prouse,
Aye.
Ms. Eder,
Aye.
Mr. Tsuchaki,
Aye.
myself, motion passes, well, 5-0.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Evans for the Section 3, the staff spotlight, and followed immediately by Section 4 presentations.
Okay, if I can, there we go. I'm getting my computer's a little slow this evening, much like me, but, okay, I have a resolution here to recognize our staff spotlight for the month of March. The resolution, whereas the Cuyahoga Heights School District has been fortunate to have dedicated staff committed to the mission of the district, and whereas Kyle Manfredonia goes out of his way to treat all of his students fairly, and whereas Mr. Manfredonia always has a calm demeanor about him, and whereas Mr. Manfredonia often has the foresight to foresee potential future problems and quickly takes actions to prevent them from coming into fruition, and whereas Mr. Manfredonia is known for being sensitive to students and colleagues' thoughts and needs, and whereas Mr. Manfredonia never turns down a request for help when someone is in need, and whereas Mr. Manfredonia is a creative and careful planner who is forever striving to better himself, and therefore be it resolved that the Cuyahoga Heights Board of Education congratulates Kyle Manfredonia on his March 27th, 2024 selection to the Cuyahoga Heights Schools Staff Spotlight. I ask for that resolution to be approved by the Board of Education.
Someone like to make a motion, please?
So moved.
Go ahead.
So moved. I'll
Okay.
second.
And you'll second? All right, very good.
Go ahead and call the roll, and then I'll say a few words about Kyle and bring him up here and properly embarrass him.
Ms. Eder,
Aye.
Ms. Decker,
Aye.
Ms. Prouse, Mr. Tsuchaki,
Aye.
myself, motion passes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Kyle, Mrs. Deal tells me that come on up, I'm gonna talk about you anyhow. The medal is actually in the cabinet down there. We have a medal and the resolution, and just so you know, Kyle has we really make a big deal out of the staff spotlight, so he's been appropriately embarrassed. We have a little spotlight, and we take over in the classroom, we shine it on him, and Mrs. Deal and the previous winner come over and present. And, but Kyle and I have a little history here. I think Kyle, we came to work here about the same time back in 2010 or 11, and Kyle came through and started with us as a teacher's aide, did a phenomenal job, has worked his way into an outstanding pre-K teacher, has coached multiple sports here, and is one of those quiet guys that whenever I know that I need a hand getting something done, Kyle, never bats an eyelash, never, I know that I can call Kyle, he'll always be there. And he's been that way for our students. We stole him away from the school down the road. He saw the light and realized that Cuyahoga Heights was the place to be. So we are very, very thankful for Kyle Manfredonia and the years that he's put in here at Cuyahoga Heights, and really look forward to many, many more years of Kyle being on our staff here at Cuyahoga Heights. Congratulations, Kyle. Appreciate it. Next up, lots of recognitions tonight. So Hayes Kwan could not be here, and I'm going to say a few words about Hayes. Hayes received his Eagle Scout recognition. He's under the weather. But I want to tell you, this is my 43rd year in education, and there is no district that I have ever seen that has a history with scouting the way Cuyahoga Heights School District does. Annually, we recognize 1 or 2 Eagle Scouts from 2 or 3 different packs in the area. I know Mr. Suchaki is a longtime former an Eagle Scout himself, a former pack leader, and it's just outstanding work that they do, the leadership skills that the students learn while attending their Eagle Scout, and the connections that they gain from that are just tremendous. So I want to get a little personal thank you to Hayes on his being recognized as an Eagle Scout as well. So hopefully he's feeling a little bit better. We can bring him back and properly recognize him. At this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. DeTrey to talk a little bit about our mock trial team.
So Marty Kosovich is the teacher, history teacher here in the district. He is also our mock trial and our model UN advisor. And this year, our mock trial win is our second season with 20 season overall, second season with Mr. Kosovich. And this year, they battled through a couple preliminary rounds to make it to the state tournament. And so today's recognition is for our state qualifiers, who made it to the state level in their competition. And I'm going to ask Marty to give us a little more on the season, some of the accomplishments that these individuals reached.
Do you want me to read into that? Okay, I gotta get my little notes
It's
out.
a mock trial.
Yeah, this is mock trial. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what mock trial it is, it's a simulated court case. The season lasts from September all the way up through March. And these kids put everything into it. I mean, the case file is about 250 pages thick, of which there was 20 pieces of case law this year in the back of the book. And these kids are some of the hardest working kids I've ever come across. And this is the finest team I've ever had. This is my 8th year coaching a mock trial team. And hands down, the group that we had that went to states, even my B team, they were fantastic. So they tried this case against other schools in front of real judges and lawyers at the county courthouse. So the stakes are high because you are putting yourself out there in front of real legal minds. So our season started in September. Our first round was an invitational at Kent State University. There we saw Danville and Asheville, and both of those teams have made it to states over the last 20 years, 19 times. At districts, we faced, University and Solon. It was there that we knocked out one of Solon's teams. And Solon they have a reputation going back years for being one of the finest mock trial teams. At regionals, we saw Brecksville and we saw Ignatius. We easily knocked out Brecksville. That's my old team, so I'm not going to say that I was super happy about that, but at the same time, it was nice seeing them battle each other out. And then in states, we saw was it Springfield and Revere. Through that season, we racked up multiple best attorneys, multiple best witnesses at every single level. And so with that being said, we'll announce the kids that were on that A team that made it to states. So first we're going to call up Kellen Katona, one of our graduating seniors. Yeah, you can sit down. He won Best Overall Attorney at that Kent State Invitational. All right, Charles is not here, probably because he's still recovering from musical. Anna Rakowski. All right, Ricky Rock, who couldn't make it. Arushi Shinde, she's currently out of country. Are the Winslows up here yet or no? No, they're probably still downstairs. Okay, they're downstairs with basketball. All right, I will make sure that they get to get this on.
I want to make mention while
Thursday.
Mr. Kosevich is at the podium there. Again, I've been in this business for a long time. I've been to a lot of athletic events. I've been to a lot of games that were state qualifying on the line and watched athletes perform. I've been to some of the music competitions where students were to be recognized. And I will tell you that this is the first time I went down to the Cleveland Courthouse, and the tension in the courtroom, you could cut it with a knife, it was so thick. I was nervous, and I knew that our kids had worked on this for so long, but it was one of the most high-pressure systems, things that I'd ever seen a group of students involved with, and our kids flourished. They were incredible. They were incredibly well-prepared. They were cool, calm, and collected, more so than me. Mr. Kosevich was on nerves end a little bit. I don't know that I've ever seen him that nervous before, but I just want to tell you, as far as, we do a lot of things to prepare kids for life in the district, and it happens in a lot of different ways. And this, watching this firsthand downtown in the courtroom is one of the most meaningful things that we do with our students, and both teams are to be commended. We've been doing it for a long time here. This is the first time we've ever gone on to the state level competition, and I love telling people that we beat St. Whoever from downtown and Brecksville from down the road. So congratulations to the team, and just great stuff. So thanks, Marty.
Thank you.
Students of the month, we're going to roll right in them. Mr. Dtre is going to keep going.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Thank you all for coming out this evening. This is a special time. Most of you are here to hear your child or your loved one recognized as Student of the Month for the month of March. And our first student that we will recognize this evening from the 6th grade, Alyssa Tisato. Please come forward. Alyssa's here with her parents, Barbie and Jose. She and her family, along with her dog and 2 cats, live in Cuyahoga Heights. She began attending Heights in the 2nd grade. Her favorite subject in school is English. Alyssa is a member of the orchestra and art club here at school, and outside of school, she enjoys playing volleyball and watching Netflix series, documentaries. Her most memorable experience at school was the 5th grade graduation with the video and all the pictures that were on display. When asked what kind of career she hopes to have, she stated either a lawyer or a marine oceanographer, marine researcher. Here is what her teacher had written. Alyssa has an excellent work ethic in all of her classes and is intrinsically motivated by her desire to learn and improve. Moreover, Alyssa always brings a positive attitude to class and treats all of her classmates with respect and kindness. We are very proud of Alyssa for all that she has accomplished this year, and we cannot wait to see what the future has in store for her. Congratulations, Alyssa Tisato. The 7th grade Student of the Month for March, Enzo Kmetz. Please come forward. Enzo's here this evening with his parents, Kevin and Colleen. He is the oldest, or he has an older sister and a younger twin brother who also attend Heights. They are residents of Valley View, and he has been attending since the 2nd grade as well. Enzo told me, I asked him how many relatives does he have who went through Heights, and he said, I've got several relatives who are alumni of Heights, and you may know my Aunt Laura. She used to be principal here.
So he didn't say Lori. He said, you may know my aunt. But I got to call her out because she's sitting in the audience right now. Enzo says his favorite subject in school is science, and he is a member of the school's band, as well as the school's track and football teams. When he is done with school, he plans on becoming either an engineer or a restaurant owner. And something you may not know about Enzo is that he enjoys playing the piano, in which he told me it was his grandfather who taught him how to play. No, uncle. Nobody. Grandpa. I said, okay. Thank you for the correction, sorry. Here is what his nominating teachers had written. Enzo exemplifies the qualities of honesty, respectfulness, and diligence, making him a standout candidate for Student of the Month. He has a genuine respect for others and consistently treats classmates, teachers, and staff with kindness and consideration. Academically, Enzo is determined and dedicated. He actively participates in his classes and is engaged throughout the lessons. Congratulations on Student of the Month, Enzo Metz. The 8th grade Student of the Month, Nolan Yunke. Please come forward. Nolan is here tonight with his parents, David and Lori. He says he's the youngest of 3, and he and his family all live in Valley View. Nolan has been attending since pre-K, and his favorite subject is math. He is in the school's band and enjoys spending time outside of school playing baseball, throwing the football with his dad, and playing video games. He stated that he wants to either play in the NFL or the MLB, but his backup plan, if those fall down, will be that he'll become a NASA engineer. I found out that Nolan is a big Dallas Cowboy fan, and when I asked him if he could meet anybody past or present in a different question, he goes really quickly, Micah Parsons, who's a linebacker for the Cowboys. So here's what his teachers wrote in his nomination. Nolan is an honest and responsible young person. He is someone who laughs easily and gets along with everyone. He is a team player and participates in football and travel baseball. Nolan is dependable and shows up for practices and games with a determined attitude. He is respectful of his teachers, coaches, and our support staff. Nolan is a conscientious student who takes advanced classes and is enrolled in Honors Algebra 1. For all of you, that is a high school level course. And he cares about his schoolwork tremendously. Nolan has been a role model with a positive attitude for his classmates in the middle school, and we look forward to his progress and success as a high school student. Congratulations, Nolan Yunke. Our 9th grade Student of the Month is Ben Armbrust. Ben couldn't make it this evening, so I will read what his teacher had written in his nomination. Ben has done an outstanding job in honors biology this year. He has truly mastered how to do well in this class and has remained at the very top of his class all year. He never complains, and he always has his work done. I can always count on him to participate in class, even when the subject matter is challenging. He is always prepared for class, and even on days when after being absent from school. It is refreshing to have a student that takes initiative like Ben does. He is also a kind student inside my classroom and helps others who are in need. Congratulations, Ben Armbrust. Our 10th grade Student of the Month, Blaine Colini Hunter. Please come forward. He wasn't certain if he could make it. So I'm going to jump right to what his nominating teacher had stated as well. I am thrilled to nominate Blaine for Student of the Month. His grades and test scores consistently demonstrate a dedication to academic excellence. Blaine has a positive attitude about school, approaching each day with a willingness to engage in the learning process. His work completion is consistently exemplar, demonstrating a strong work ethic. In his interactions with peers and teachers, he is always polite and respectful. He is often seen going above and beyond by actively assisting others in class, embodying the spirit of collaboration and kindness. Blaine embodies these qualities and characteristics that we seek to cultivate in all of our students. Keep up the good work. Congratulations, Blaine. For the 11th grade, the student of the month, Katie Boussier. Please come forward. Katie is here with her mother, Kristen Hennings, and she has 2 older brothers. She and her family are residents of Old Brooklyn. Katie has been attending Cuyahoga Heights since the 8th grade, and her favorite course in school right now is AP Biology. She is a member of the school's track and soccer teams, as well as the National Honor Society and Student Council. Outside of school, she plays club soccer for Force and works as a barista in a coffee shop. She plans on becoming a pediatrician, but moving to someplace warmer. When asked if she could meet anybody famous, past or present, who would it be? She quickly replied, Taylor Swift. Here is what her nominating teacher had written. Katie is a hardworking student in her Algebra 2 class. She completes all assignments on time and always participates in all class activities. She has consistently performed at a high level on each of her assessments this year. Katie is a pleasure to have in class. Keep up the good work. Congratulations, Katie. And I know that our 12th grade student of the month couldn't make it tonight. His name was Torrin Klein, and I will still read what his teacher had written. As a teacher, I always enjoy overhearing Torrin's thoughts and views as he works through partner assignments in class. He consistently dedicates himself to using class time efficiently, and he often considers things from different points of view. He is polite and considerate, and while many of his peers fall into complacency and just go with the flow, he clearly expects the best from himself for his own education. He wants to be challenged, he wants feedback, and he wants to learn. This is a great set of traits for any student, and especially for a senior this close to graduation. He is an asset to the class, and I look forward to the great things for him in the future. Congratulations, Torrin Klein. Congratulations, our middle school and high school students. Please stay standing while we have the elementary school students of the month recognized.
Good evening. One of our student of the months we're going to save for next month. Today was his birthday, and his family took him on a trip to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So I asked him, which would you prefer? And of course, sorry, board. All right, so tonight we're here to honor Lila Benno, and she's represented by Mr. Williams, our 5th grade teacher here. Ms. Bonita could not make it this evening, and our other teachers are across the hall in a meeting, across the parking lot, in a meeting with me over there. So, when I interviewed this lovely young lady, we know that she comes from the community of Brooklyn Heights, lives with mom and dad that are here, along with her big brother Logan, who we had last year, was just a recipient of this award himself, and her dog, Chief. Her favorite subject she shares with me is math. Sorry, Mr. Williams. Because it comes easy to her. Her favorite essential, or specials as we call them, is art, because she thinks she's good at art. Outside of school, she's a little gymnast. She goes to Johnson's, like many of our kids here from Cuyahoga Heights. And if you came to our musical last night, she was the twirling girl under the sea. Let's leave it at that. Okay. When she grows up, she said, Mr. Kiefer, maybe I'd like to be a teacher. So yes, she would like to go to college. And then I asked her, your parents are going to be in the audience. What message would you like me to share with you to your parents? And she said, thanks for always being there for her and loving and supporting her and giving her a great life. So the 3 5th grade teachers wrote something for you that I read, and I said, yes, this is you. So we chose Lila as Student of the Month because of her many exceptional qualities. Lila comes to school daily prepared to learn and with a great attitude. It is easy to work with her because she is always so engaged in the lessons and willing to ask questions and participate in class. Her work is always on time, especially in math. She pays great attention to detail. She's not only respectful to the adults in the building, but also considerate of her peers. When a friend is down, she is the first person to try and cheer them up. It is these and many other great qualities that make it a pleasure to work with her this year. Congratulations.
We're going to take a little break. We're going to ask if the students of the month will go out by the backdrop with the board members so we can take some pictures. Parents, take all the pictures you want by the backdrop, and then we'll resume with the meeting, and that's usually a pretty good time to sneak out of here.
But not you, Mr. Evans.
Not me, no, I don't get to sneak out.
One of the people from mock trial here, they
All right, we're coming back into session after our award ceremonies. The next item on the agenda is comments from the public. We have no one here, so we'll skip to the treasurer's business. And I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Dobbins, our treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Souchaki. So there are two items under the treasurer's business tonight. There are items 6A and item 7A. One is, 6A is approval of minutes of the March 13, 2024 regular meeting, as found in attachment T1. And agenda item 7A is approved purchase orders over $5,000, and those are in item T2. So
Do we have a motion for those?
to approve, there's a consent agenda, I'm sorry, there's a consent agenda item for those two motions. That is item, what is it? Item 8.
8A. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve the treasurer's consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. Proust, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Deca, is there any discussion?
Just that the PO is with Dean's Greenhouse, that's the annual junior class fundraiser, that's their biggest moneymaker of the year, so that they usually sell between $10,000 and $12,000 for the plant material, and that's huge for the junior class, so that's the PO that's in there.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Ms. Prouse?
Aye.
Ms. Deca?
Aye.
Ms. Etter?
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki?
Aye.
And myself? Yes, so that's,
Motion passes 5-0. Moving into section 9, superintendent's business.
Okay, on my consent agenda, I would ask that item 9A, 10A through C be approved via the consent agenda.
I have a motion for that superintendent's consent agenda, please.
So moved.
Ms. Deca? And I'll second. Oh, that's
You're
it?
good.
Okay.
Keep
Just
going.
moving right along. Any discussion?
Just that's the updated list from the ESC, nothing, no really big changes there. The interagency agreement, this is for services that we could potentially get through the ESC. This is just a general agreement with them. There's no purchase order that goes along with them because we do individual purchase orders as we need the services. So you'll see some items listed in there that we might use depending on a student's disability, some additional support services, but that all runs through the ESC, and this is our agreement to work through them on that. So we would bring those individual POs to you separately from this, but this kind of puts the motion in place, the wheels in place for us to be able to do that. The supplemental position is a spring faculty manager, that's Mr. Tartera. Online LPDC form management service system. Our LPDC is our local professional development committee, and that's the group that approves all the coursework for anybody that has a license in the district, Mr. Muccio, myself, teachers, and that's made up of 3 teachers, 2 administrators in every district. And so we meet on a monthly basis to look at coursework that's submitted for us. That's all done online through a system, and it had been free to us, well, I don't know how free it was, but through the ESC, through Ohio Connect. Well, they're going away. They're going out of business. Not the ESC, the LPDC portion of this. So we want to keep it online because that really works best for us because it works directly with the state then when it's approved. Everything's kind of seamless. So you see the PO in, you'll see the agreement in here is to go with Summit ESC for their management system. And one of the reasons that we're talking to you now about this is that we need to get this in place so that we can start to make the transition. All of our data has to be dumped into their system. So we want to do that before July 1st. And the last thing that we want to do is hold up a teacher's license because we're changing systems over. So we'll be moving over to Summit ESC's, their management. Everything else is done internally, but that was the closest management system nearby, so we went with them. So Mr. Young had some familiarity with them. I think what's happening is Summit is picking up a huge portion of what was here at Ohio Connect before. And it's just like the ACE sites. There's a group out west that will pick up some people on the west end of the county, but we're going to head down there. I think in the end here, they only had about 6 districts left with Ohio Connect. So those are the items I asked for approval for today.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions?
It looks like it's 2,700 initially and then like 900 a year then.
Yeah, that's the
just to
setup
maintain.
on it, and we didn't, you didn't see those costs before because they were absorbed through our general costs with the ESC. So now it's a different group, so it kind of gets pulled out. It was kind of that whole big bill that we're paying to the ESC for a lot of different things. That was a part of, the LPDC was a part of that. If you look back on that sheet that we would approve every October, LPDC was listed on there at one point in time, and my computer's working really slow today, so it just popped up. But 2,700 is the setup, so and I kind of urged the committee, because they just made the decision, I said, I want to get this on the agenda quickly so we can get things transferred. Right now, this time of year, licenses generally go through pretty quick, but as soon as we get into May, it slows to a crawl, because that's when everybody's renewing licenses. So we want to make sure that we have the system in place so teachers not waiting on a license approval through Columbus.
And our ESC is not picking this up?
No, this is one of those things, well, Ohio Connect was part of the ESC.
Right.
It's one of those things that, and this is, we talked about this on several occasions, ESCs are developing like specialized systems in different areas. Our ESC does a ton of professional development. The Ohio Schools Council works through ours. The Greater Cleveland School Superintendents Association works through ours. They do a lot of PD over there. Summit does some different stuff. Some of the College Credit Plus stuff is coming out of Lorraine. So each ESC is kind of finding their niche, so to speak. Transportation used to run all out of Medina's ESC. The bus driver training would, so they each kind of found their areas, but this was one of those where with 6 schools, I think the RESC just said it wasn't cost effective. It was one of the last things actually left down in Valley View. It was the building across the street from where the old ESC was. It was the Harry L. Eastman building, that was where they were, Connect was running out of there, but the Connect, the director of Connect left a couple of years ago to take another position, and I don't know that they ever filled her position when she left, so they've kind of broken Connect up in pieces as it's gone. So everything's going to be over on in Independence on the boulevard over there. This was one of those things that they weren't interested in holding on to anymore.
Yeah, can't do everything.
Yeah.
Okay. No further discussion. Please call the roll.
Ms. Decker?
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki?
Aye.
Ms. Kraus?
Aye.
Ms. Etter?
Aye.
Myself? Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Superintendent, comments and discussion.
Certainly want to start off with thanking the board and all the residents of the district on the passage of the levy. For the board members, there's some cards here. If you get a moment, maybe we can get an executive session. We can kind of pass around, sign it. But just a tremendous effort by a lot of people. I certainly want to take some time to recognize them and thank people, because that was all volunteer hours. Our teaching staff, our support staff stepped up with donations. We had some outside donations for it as well. And I think one of the best things we did was keep our message consistent. I had numerous compliments on the flyer that went out to the homes on how much information was loaded in that little front and back. And that was also the same information that we talked about to every one of the, I think I counted 11 or 12 groups that I spoke to, and many of you were at some of those groups with me throughout the course of time. I also want to thank the mayors in the villages publicly. Their support, I think, is one of those things that helped put us over the top with this. All 3 councils voted to support our, by resolution, the levy. So we are thankful for that. I will tell you, I met with GPD today to get the wheels turning again on what some of those, talked to them about the Hillside Stabilization Project and a couple others. So met with Mark Salpek and Jason Lowley today on that. Some other things legislatively, not a lot going on right now except election time. One thing that I went to a meeting last week that was depressing from start to end. It was all superintendents talking about what's going on legislatively in Columbus. So it's not good things on the horizon. There's still not a lot of things that are positive for us on the education end. A lot of talk about the vouchers. It was kind of funny because not really funny, but several of us in the room are part of the lawsuit, and one of the other superintendents started calling out the other superintendents as like, why aren't you? Well, this should be 609 districts that should be a part of this lawsuit at some point in time. There's just no reason not to be. So, a lot of discussion about that. unfortunately, the climate's just going to shift a little bit in Columbus. Matt Huffman, who's, who's no friend of public education, is term limiting out in the House or in the Senate, but he's going to go over to the House. He's going to be elected to the House this fall, and he has vowed that he will be the Speaker of the House. And if you know anything, we've talked about the blue 22. The Republicans were split in the House right now. So there was a group they were calling the blue 22 that was actually more moderate, more towards the middle, and they were siding with the Democrats on some issues and siding. So that group is going to lose 3 or 4 of its members, and they believe that the House will be back to a supermajority, all under one realm, and that's Mr. Huffman. And again, he's not a friend of education, not a friend of public education. I was a little vocal in the meeting. The guy from Columbus, representatives from Columbus there, and they were looking for a school for Governor DeWine and Lieutenant Governor Husted to hold a regional meeting about restricting cell phones. I said, well, we haven't restricted our middle school. We'd be happy to host at Cuyahoga Heights, but I will tell you that I'm going to ask them how on good conscience they can support legislation to fund non-public schools when we're in an 88-year-old building and we can't get funds to help renovate our building. Because that's one of the most recent, they're spending as much as they can. Mr. Dobbins sent out an article. They're up to $900 million, over $300 million more than last year in vouchers. And they're now talking about helping to fund non-public schools when we can't get funds to help renovate our building. That's pretty frustrating. So I will tell you that the senior citizens groups that I talked to, 2 of them said, hey, we want names and addresses of legislators and what to send them in letter. This is terrible. How can we not? Because my sales pitch to a lot of them was that if I was getting the $8,500 that they're giving to high school kids, or even the $6,400 that they're giving to K-8s, I'm not standing in front of you right now looking for a levy. And they said, how can that happen? I said, that question is for the people in Columbus. That's a Columbus decision. So a little bit on that end of it. A lot of celebration going on tonight. Tremendous. The play was fantastic. That might have been one of the best productions and we've had some good ones. But sometimes when they do 3 days, I'm a little bit leery about coming on Sunday because the voices don't hold up. They were strong on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Little Shop of Horrors. They did a great job with it. The music was fantastic. The sound was excellent. We had good turnouts for all 3 of them. We're finishing up with all the winter sports, and it was a great winter sports season. We had individuals, and all the individual sports qualify for district or regional competition. We had boys and girls were district runners-up. First time ever boys bowling team advanced to the district, so it was a tremendous year there. And then you've heard about the mock trial and Model UN, the successes that they've had. So just a lot of great things happening with our students right now. We're really looking forward to it. Last thing is April 8th is Solar Eclipse Day. I was, we're committed right now to a half a day of school. I was on with FEMA on Tuesday, and I was really kind of curious as to what they were going to say. The original estimate with the eclipse in the greater Cleveland area was between 1.5 and 4 million people coming into town. They started the meeting with, they called Nashville, Tennessee, who had an eclipse a couple years ago, and said, what effect did it have on Nashville, which is a similar sized city to Cleveland? And they said it was no more than what they had when they hosted the NFL draft or an all-star game. They hosted one of the all-star games, I think maybe the NBA. He said it was no more than that. They said that the problem is going to be that everybody wants to leave at the same time. So getting in is not the crowds that you think, but getting out might be the issue. We're done at 11:40 and 12:30. All of our students will be home long before the eclipse takes place at 3-something. Parents always have the right to keep the student home that day. They have family plans, they have things going, they can absolutely do that. Another thing for us is that we have some mandated state training that we have to do with our students that was passed by law, kind of sexual awareness. We're going to do it that day. That's going to check a box for us because it's about a 2-hour training. All the families have been sent home a waiver if they want to opt out of it. They can send the opt-out back in and not participate in it. So that's one of those things I don't know we were real excited about presenting. but we're gonna make sure that we check the box and we do what Columbus is asking us to do on that part of it. And we thought a half-day would be probably a better time to do it. And then we will start, you see the library set up, we're jumping right into testing then after that week, so. And we put a lot of time, effort, and energy into that. Our teachers take it seriously, our families take it seriously, and one of the reasons we've excelled on some of that stuff. I know other districts don't put the effort into that we do with the, we're proud of what we do with that, so that's probably more than you wanted to hear from me tonight. So, you're hoping I lose my voice in the process of that, and I did, so. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to, thank you, Mr. Evans. Moving on to Section 13, there's nothing in the consent agenda for the board, so moving to Section 14, Board Discussion Committee Reports, Comments. Anyone?
I'd just like to echo what Mr. Evans said, especially to thank all those who supported our efforts for the levy. It really was a community team effort, and appreciate, like Mr. Evans said, those who volunteered their time and their money to see that this is done, and make sure that all of our levy supporters and all of our community members know that we will continue to be good stewards of the money, and make sure that we will also continue to provide excellence in education here at Cuyahoga Heights. So a big thank you. And then I also had the pleasure of attending the Little Shop of Horrors, and it was a delightful production. It was very entertaining, and we have some talented people here at Cuyahoga Heights. I'm a big supporter of the arts because that's like what I did a lot in high school, so kind of appreciate it very, very much, and I'm glad that we do it, and I'm glad that the board supports these efforts that we do when it comes to the arts.
Anyone else? I have to agree, it was a fun production. I had a chance myself, when I was in high school, I had a chance to be the music director for a musical we put on, so it was really fun to go through that. As it turned out, that I went Friday night. Turned out by the end of the weekend, I pulled out my scrapbook and looked up the program from when I was involved in a musical in high school. And believe me, that paper was very yellow. I do have a few other things. Often, when I come to comment on the Career Center, I say, oh, our meeting's tomorrow night. And so the last time I did this, I had to say, we haven't had a meeting recently. And now, since our last regular meeting, we've had two. So we're getting caught up. So I have two things to get you caught up on. Not a lot, but a few items. We have some future programs that we're working on, things that are going to be getting started within the next year or so. One of them is Parks and Environment, which I think is really interesting because if you've ever been to the Career Center and looked out the back of the building, there's a whole lot of land out there that's not developed as part of the Career Center. So they are going to be able to use their space in an appropriate way to put in that type of program. They're also going to add commercial construction to the regular construction programs, and they're going to add an adult course, I believe, if I heard correctly, for the tower. We're doing telecom towers now. We have an indoor telecom tower. We're supposed to get an outdoor one too. So that is actually a big deal. They're talking about Intel and all the work they're bringing in. And somewhere I heard in one of the presentations down in Columbus that there are going to be 5 times more people just working on cable, just working on communications, than there are going to be working at Intel. Because there's so much cable and so many towers and things being put up around the state. So, some of the other things that we're looking at for the future are cybersecurity, data analytics, and cloud computing. So the Career Center is really trying to keep up with what's going on in the needs of our businesses around here. That was the meeting from February. The March meeting, which moved up because Holy Thursday is this week and didn't want to have a meeting on that date. Garfield Heights announced that the Browns have donated a turf field to Garfield Heights, which was, I think, very nice of them to do. Garfield Heights is a district that has some serious challenges.
That's about their 5th or 6th field now that the Browns have paid for. I know the field at Lorraine High School at the George Daniels Stadium was Browns Field. I think they're on about number 5 right now.
We're fortunate that we have the billboards to cover ours, and if the Browns are donating things, they'll probably follow the state list, and we'll be down around 600.
Yeah, they're dressing more than mid-size urbans in the urban district, so.
Right, and
They
then-
put one in, I know one's in Cleveland, the field at Glendale High School was a Browns field as well.
As they should. Independence apparently has hired their the treasurer replacement. They got the person from Buckeye, originally from Nordonia. Jennifer Knapp is the name. And we have, sorry, wrong page. On Wednesday, April 17th, a number of students are being inducted into the National Technical Honor Society. And from our district, we have Logan Apathy, Jim Blados, Caitlin Domzalski, Sophia Kish, Isabella Pasaquala, something like that, Donnie Raymond, and Emily Sinicki. And I will be at that ceremony.
It's our largest group in a long time. So we normally have 2 or 3, but I think there's 6 or 7 there. That's our biggest group in a long time.
So that's a nice, it just shows that we're not just having a lot of people down there, they're doing very well. And it's a pleasure to work with them. Okay, that was all I had. Anything else, board comment? All right.
I would just note, and this may go under future agenda items, Mr. Souchaki and I talked earlier today, we probably have received, or you've probably received, notice from the OSBA that they're having their, what seems to be their annual legislative conference in Columbus. It's on Tuesday, April 23rd. And I just put that out there, and if the group has an interest in attending, that we could probably coordinate with Mr. Evans. But I'd put it out there, we don't have to make any decisions tonight, but if it is something of interest and if it's your schedule, we could move the ball forward at the next board meeting in early April.
Okay. Maybe we ought to put that down on the agenda.
I'll add it. And then I'll try and find out if ours will be in attendance. You know, Matt Dolan's the lame duck, Tom Patton's running for that office. Tom, we have history with Tom. Tom was, before they gerrymandered the districts, Tom covered a good part of the district and was a friend of Cuyahoga Heights in the past. Representative Robertson has always been really good about reaching out to us. Sean Brennan, who covers Parma now, part of Brooklyn Heights, is a former history teacher at Rexel Broadview Heights. Sean's very educationally savvy. Representative Serino is a tough nut, or Senator Serino. He's got the north part of Cuyahoga Heights here, and he goes all the way out in the Lake County, so he's pretty hardcore. He's actually the one that proposed the college, the Board of Regents. He wanted questions added to the questionnaire for someone to be they wanted to be able to interview applicants for the Board of Regents, Board of Directors of different colleges, and they added a couple questions in there that were pretty far-reaching. So, so I'll find out who's going to be in attendance at the.
If you wouldn't mind sharing your thoughts with
Yeah.
the rest of the board once you've done your
Yeah.
homework, thank you.
Right, yeah, it doesn't make sense to go there if we can't talk to anybody.
Right.
That's just sitting and listening to.
And
listening
that's a
to
double-edged sword, because then the OSBA will say, hey, you got 4 school boards coming down, you really need to be there. They'll use that as leverage to get people trying to come to those, because we have every 2 months, we have a legislative breakfast, the superintendents do, and there's the same, Senator Brennan, Troy, some of the ones from Northeast Ohio are always there, Representative Troy, so it's the same group that we see, but, so that's why I know that, like, Brennan's really supportive, because he shows up to that all. Bride Rose Sweeney is a regular as well.
All right, well, we'll discuss further at the next meeting and decide whether or not it's appropriate for us to attend.
Okay.
If we think we'll be able to make some headway with a few folks. Okay, so that kind of falls under, that's future agenda items. Any other future agenda items? We're on that section? Okay, moving down to 16 informational items. Should be noted the Board of Education members received their agendas several days prior to the actual meeting and have had considerable opportunity to study and ask questions and so on. Upcoming regular meetings, all in the Monterey Media Center, are April 10th at 6 p.m., April 24th at 7, and May 6th? 8th. Highs are better, but they're not quite there.
Glad to help.
Hey, thank you. It's nice that you young folks can help us a little bit.
You know
and-
what, can I ask, I don't know if it's possible, the April 10th, I just found out NJHS has an induction at 6:30.
They're moving theirs back to 7.
We're moving ours to 7.
Oh, so maybe, wow.
So that it would facilitate an easier move from this board meeting.
So, and we're gonna do
Okay.
everything in our power to keep our agenda light for that, so we
Okay,
can.
maybe I'll make
So
it.
we can, because I have every intention of being at NHS
Okay, maybe we'll
induction
make
as
it.
well, so.
Okay.
Good.
If Mr. Dutray has to do a little song and dance while we're waiting on us getting there,
It was a struggle to try and find a day open. We had it planned before break, but there were conflicts that happened, and then trying to find it in the spring, the 10th works for students. But we recognize those.
Yeah. I was just gonna
So
pop
we're
down
trying
and
to
just
have
see and then pop back up.
well, we're gonna make sure we keep an abbreviated agenda, so we can get out of here and time to go down and see
Okay.
the
So an
induction.
Thank you.
updated invitation is gonna be going out to families with 7 versus 6:30.
Appreciate it, thank you.
It's nice when you can get two meetings in the same night, one right after each other, same building. Okay, anything else? All right, let's move on to number 17 then. At this point, I would like to make a motion that the board adjourn to executive session pursuant to ORC Section 121, 22G4, to prepare for conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation and other terms of their employment, and Section ORC 121-22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
I'll second.
And a second by Mr. Dobbins. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Souchaki?
Yes? Aye.
Yes. Ms. Prowse?
Aye.
Ms. Etter?
Aye.
And Ms. Decker?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. It is 7:59, and we're going into executive session. No action will be taken when we reconvene. Thank you.